Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be talking about my experience and my thoughts of being on a podcast for the first time. So before I get into it, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, like and share the videos on YouTube. Let's go. All right. So let's get into it. First things first, how did I get invited? So I have a very good friend of mine that presented the idea to me about getting on a podcast and had connections with the people who run the podcast and asked me, hey, do you want to get on a podcast? I think it would be a good opportunity for you. So I said, yeah, sure, of course. So before even getting onto the podcast, I had to go onto their website and basically submit a general bio of me, like where I'm from, what do I do, what are my hobbies, what's my career, send it into the website. And that's really it. It's not like I got a confirmation saying, okay, thank you for applying. We'll reach out and let you know when you can come on the podcast. It was really like my friend had to reach out to them, let them know, like, okay, Infamous Story had sent her bio to the website and, you guys have that information. So they said, okay. As far as like what to wear on the podcast, I didn't have like an idea of what to wear, like because I had went to Dallas, so that's where the podcast was at, in Texas, Dallas area. And I flew in and I basically just put on a shirt, jeans, and some sneakers. Like I wanted to be comfortable. I didn't want to be too dressed up because at the same time I didn't know what everybody else was wearing. So I was basically coming into the podcast really blind. So I just wore what made me feel comfortable, and I just wore it. So yeah. So once I entered into the studio, I was like kind of shell shocked because I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like I'm gonna be on a podcast. This is crazy. But I was super excited anyway. So before even coming into the podcast, let me kind of back up a little bit. I did want to do a little bit of research on the podcast. So by the way, the podcast name is Good Vibes. I will leave a picture on my video so you guys can see the podcast. They have their own YouTube channel. Make sure you guys check out their page and check out their videos. So majority of their videos basically consists of like different people coming into the podcast. Basically the host comes in and asks the group of people different questions like what's their background, what are their hobbies, and a lot of these people are like business entrepreneurs, a lot of content creators, a lot of influencers as well on the social media. And so you have all these different people coming into the podcast and talking about their life experiences as well, not just like what their hobbies are, but what they experience and why is it that they like to do what they like to do now as far as their careers, their business, and why they like to do content creation, right? So that kind of gave me a glimpse of like what the podcast was about. So I was like, okay, great. I can definitely come in and talk about, why I like to play video games and, the career that I chose in life and everything. So once I was sitting on the chair, I kid you not, my heart was beating fast because it was like 4 to 5 different girls sitting next to me, plus the host. And then behind the cameras, it was more like 5 people like sitting on a couch and whatever. But I didn't know that that was actually the second group of people that was going to be on the podcast also. So I was like, okay, so I didn't know anyone. The only one that I knew was my friend. So, like I was just kind of quiet there and just kind of listening to everybody's input about what they were asking and everything. So the questions that I was asked was more like kind of like what I said before, like what are my hobbies and why do I look to do them? What is my career path? Why did I get into it? My life experience. There was one question also that she asked, which was really interesting, which was with all the knowledge that you have now, right? What's one thing that you would tell your 18-year-old self? And I said a short advice, which would be, keep going and focus on yourself because you will get there. So there is a short of me on YouTube that shows me saying that. I will definitely try to put it in this video. If not, you guys can definitely check it out on YouTube. And I thought that was very interesting. That's a really good question because like you imagine like you get to meet your 18-year-old self before they even get onto the adventure that you're on now, and you just tell them that and they're like, oh, okay, like how would your life come out to, right? So that was really interesting. So the vibes on the podcast were it was really good. It felt like I was kind of like Like if I was home, because usually like when I'm streaming or doing videos, I'm usually home and I'm like in front of a camera and stuff like that. But it felt a little different, obviously, because there were people there. But if I felt a little bit, I think, comfortable towards the end, because during the beginning, like I felt like I was the first one to be asked everything, which is fine. I don't have any issues with that. But I was just super scared and super nervous, and I felt like I had to just control my breathing. And I was just like, okay, I need to control my breathing. I need to relax and everything. But I love the fact that the host made me feel comfortable. Like she, was able to make, eye contact and then, listen to what I was saying. And then also I feel like everybody in the podcast was very respectful. There was no issues within our each other. Like if someone was speaking, obviously we give them the time so they can say what they wanted to say. And then like, because there was one point where there was one girl that was saying something that's kind of similar to what I used to do in my career. And I kind of let her finish what she was saying. And then I actually added my input, like saying like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I feel like everybody was very respectful. The vibes were really good. It was positive energy in there. So I really liked it. There was no technical issues. The mics were good. The cameras were rolling. I didn't feel like nothing was going wrong. So everybody in there was very professional. And we were just like all comfortable overall. So after we recorded the episode, I felt very relieved because it was done and I wasn't so nervous anymore. But I was super excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be seeing myself on a podcast. I can't wait till it comes out. And I was just super excited to just be on the podcast. It was my first podcast ever. I got a lot of positive feedback from my family and friends. A lot of them said I did a good job. I kind of felt like I was more nervous than the other girls that was on the podcast, to be honest, but I feel like I did my thing. So I really like the positive feedback that I got from my family and friends. I will definitely link the video down in the description below so you guys can see the full episode. Definitely go check out Good Vibes Podcast on their YouTube channel. So I know that we're going to be doing a part 2 of the podcast. I will have to figure out when everybody is available because everybody out there that was on the podcast, they all live in Dallas. I live in New York. And so we have to kind of figure out when can we do part 2. So going into part 2, definitely I think what I would do differently is when I'm speaking, I would like to kind of like, I should have just been speaking a little bit slower so that way my thought process can come into my brain slowly and just like, not just like I'm talking. And then I felt like I was talking with my heart because my heart was just like pumping so bad. And I was super nervous. And I think that next time I will probably like want to talk slower so my thought process can be okay. And then that's really it. I feel like there was nothing else that I could have done differently. I think I did good. Key takeaways, what I would say is what I learned about myself being on this podcast is that growing up, I was such a shy kid. I was so shy. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And getting onto this podcast and getting to know all of these different people with all these different backgrounds, it made me feel like, man, I could really do anything. Like if you put your mind into something and you want to do it, go for it. Like if you're scared of doing something, just face it. We're all scared about something in life, right? So if there's something that you want to do, that's my cat scratching in the background, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think that, like I said, growing up being shy and then coming onto this podcast, and just like talking about what I do, what I like to do, explaining like why did I get into my career, and just listening to other people, like it made me feel a little bit more comfortable, and it made me feel as a person like my confidence went up as well, because I'm like, damn, if I could be on a podcast, what else can I do, right? So I feel like it really boosted my confidence a lot more. So like I said before, being a shy kid growing up, I think my shyness kind of went away when I went into college. And that's when it kind of like raised up a little bit, but not so much. I mean, obviously, yes, at some points in my life, whenever I'm doing certain things, I do get shy. But I try to kind of like put that focus on my mindset and be like, okay, you're shy, you're nervous, whatever, but just relax. Everything's going to be okay. So I kind of tell myself everything's going to be okay in order for me to feel calmness. Obviously, when I was on the podcast, I was super nervous. But I mean, it comes with it, right? It comes with the excitement. It comes with like, wow, this huge opportunity just came my way and I took it. I'm like, you know what? Let's see what happens. So after the podcast was done, I was able to do a lot of social networking um, behind the scenes and everything. And I got to speak to a lot of people with different backgrounds, a lot of entrepreneurs. There was a lot of business entrepreneurs, a lot of content creators. And it was really good because I felt like I was home. I felt like I was among the people that, I can relate to. Like I do content creation on both YouTube and TikTok. I used to do a lot of reaction videos and then I kind of stopped, kind of fell off, and I wanted to get into gaming. And so I think I was the only one that was like kind of into gaming content creation, and everybody else was just like business entrepreneurs, content creators, their own small businesses, social media influencers as well. But I still kind of felt, comfortable among these people because I'm like, wow, like we all kind of do the same thing. Like, we all have a passion. And that's one thing that I would like to say is that if you have a passion that you want to get into, or like you have a passion that you are really focused on and you want to expand your passion, definitely do it. It's going to take time. Everything takes time. You got to have patience, discipline, and, just that passion in you to be like, I can do this. If I want to do this, I need to take this to the next level, right? And I think social networking is a huge part of it too. Not to say like, you can't do this by yourself. Well, obviously you could do this by yourself, but I feel like social networking is so important just so you can get to know people, and also the opportunities that come your way, and just to collaborate with others is such a huge important thing when it comes to doing content creation and being on social media and being an influencer, right? So I think that's a very, very good thing, and I think everybody should pursue it if your passion is to be a content creator or a social media influencer of that sort. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate everybody just listening to me out on this video, and for me to talk about my experience and my thoughts about the podcast. Again, I shout out to Good Vibes Podcast. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I can't wait to go on there again to do part 2. Definitely appreciate it. Guys, definitely go check out my YouTube channel, Infamous Story. I do a lot of gaming walkthroughs on here. I also do gaming reviews as well. I think one is premiering right now at the time of this video. Definitely go check it out. I do also have a TikTok that I do a lot of gaming what is it, gaming videos as well. I don't really do a lot of reaction videos as I did before. Yeah, and one more thing, I think overall, like being on that podcast, I had such a great experience. Everybody was professional. Everybody was just like I just felt like everybody had great positive energy, and everybody was just, like I said, professional. And I just love the atmosphere just going in there. It was a super cool experience, and I can't wait to do it again. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Let's go.